Tom, campers and boaters are starting to arrive here at the lake for a fun-filled holiday weekend. Investigators spent several hours on the scene collecting evidence and taking photos. When a car struck a man, then the driver sped away, and police say the incident involved two people going through a divorce. According to the affidavit, Davis said he stole the copper because he needed the money to live and eat. Neighbors say the kids had apparently left here from the store where they'd gotten snow cones and were headed up the street. Charges have been dismissed against a Saudi man arrested at the Detroit airport with a pressure cooker in his bag. The wayward deer first showed up in the yard back in April. She says because of the way it was behaving, it seemed to need help, so she decided to feed it. And if caught, the men could face felony charges for criminal mischief and burglary. The store's ATM is out of service for now, and so is the bank's. Still ahead, what does it take to keep a mummy looking good after more than 2,000 years? We'll show you coming up. A quiet country road closed off by police cars. A man's body lying in the grass.
And one of the truck drivers came up and said there's a body over laying in the middle of the road that had blood all over it. And then shortly after, police showed up, and I think I saw three of them get out of their cars and draw their guns and search around the house and the premises.
Carter County deputies were called to Nob Hill Road near Ratliff City around 2 o'clock and found Sammy Beard dead. They arrested Travis Gillespie.
I told my wife I figured he shot somebody whenever I saw the flashing lights, just because that's what I just figured.
Investigators spent several hours on the scene collecting evidence and taking photos along with talking to witnesses. It wasn't long before they had a pretty clear picture of what they believe happened here.
Under Sheriff Milton Anthony says Gillespie is the ex-boyfriend of the same woman who Beard was currently dating.
I don't know if I've even seen the guy. I've seen the girl outside on occasion.
A neighbor says he's rented the house to Gillespie, who works in the oil fields, for more than 5 years, and a woman had moved in. Workers just behind the house who reclaim oil from old drilling water recognized Gillespie.
I heard a gunshot earlier, but I didn't think anything of it because that guy's always shooting.
One night we were out here, and my fiance brought me lunch out, and it was like 9:45, and he was shooting shots out of the back of the house. They're ricocheting off the stones and stuff like that.
As the investigation continues, surprised neighbors want answers.
Normally, there's, we don't have any problems with anything out here, just like typical country. That's one of the reasons we come here to get retards, just get away from everything.
In Carter County, I'm Alex Belser reporting.
Tom, campers and boaters are starting to arrive here at the lake for a fun-filled holiday weekend, but there are some steps they're being urged to follow to avoid the accidents that take place here every summer.
July 4th weekend means plenty of people will head out on Lake Texoma.
There's good fishing out here, and it's a good park.
Yeah.
We have an RV and a boat, and so we just come and hang out, spend time with the family.
Ryan Gray is enjoying time with his parents and brother. With thousands of visitors, park rangers will be among those checking boats to be sure they have the proper registration, life jackets, life rings, a sounding device like a horn or bell, and a light for boats traveling at night.
And all the traffic on the lake, you definitely want to make sure you got all your flotation devices and your license. Make sure the game wardens are going to be happy if they happen to run into you on the lake.
And being careful of just other drivers and what they're doing, and staying clear of them, and not overpowering the boat.
According to the Army Corps of Engineers, Lake Texoma averages 5 drownings per year. To try and stop that, officials want all boaters to take a very important safety precaution.
Making sure you have your life jacket, not necessarily on board, but you want to be wearing it as well. So far this year in our district, we've had 9 drownings. 60 nationally. None of the drowning victims were wearing a life jacket.
Army Corps Project Manager B.J. Parkey says he's had to respond to many of the drownings, and he doesn't want to have to this year.
Responding to a drowning situation is a very sombering situation. You really feel for the families.
That's why some visitors are taking precautions to stay safe on the water.
Fishing and then cruising, we got a new tube the kids want to try out that fits all of them.
And the Army Corps says fireworks are not allowed at the campgrounds except for those shows that already have a permit. They're also encouraging people not to use alcohol in excess because drinking is often associated with these drownings. Live at Lake Texoma, Alex Belser, KTEN News. Meredith, surveillance cameras were rolling tonight when a car struck a man. Then the driver sped away, and police say the incident involved two people going through a divorce. The car turned into the gas station, went right past the gas pumps, then struck the man. It happened around 6:30 outside Texoma Friendly Discount Tobacco on Frisco Road and Texoma Parkway. 3 police cars responded to the convenience store, and officers talked to the victim outside for several minutes. They also checked him over for any possible injuries, but he did not appear to be hurt.
From what we gathered is one of the parties came through the parking lot accelerated, ran him over, or flung him off the roof of the car and exited the parking lot and fled before we got here.
What was about to happen, and he ended up with his back right against the windshield. The car kept going for several feet right out of the frame, but police say the man, who tells us he's from Collinsville, was either thrown or managed to get off that hood before the car went back onto Texoma Parkway and sped off. Again, the man was not injured. He told us he was okay, and police are looking for the car involved in the assault that appears to be either tan or copper in color. Meantime, we have an update tonight to another crime caught on tape. Teenagers breaking into a convenience store at midnight and having the run of the place. Police say they know who did it, and they've linked them to other crimes.